Teddy Tactics, they get the win of the second map and pushes to that third one, and they finally make it happen. They made it to the main event last time, but they couldn't win a single map. Now, Wyatt, they win one map and maybe they'll win the whole series.
Yeah, it's possible. They looked really good on that second map, especially Kalsushi was just going crazy. Arya had some really good lurks as well, finding some nice timings to get some crucial picks. MESO had their moments for sure. Sometimes the ISO did, pay off. There were some little synergy plays trying to activate that shield, take a fight off of one of the flashes from the Yoru, for instance. But at the end of the day, it did seem like this was sort of a last-minute swap for MESO, switching up the comp after that loss yesterday, and they just didn't look as well-rounded as Teddy Tactics here on the map pick of Teddy Tactics.
Yeah, it honestly felt a little bit like map one in reverse, right? Flip the sides. When you start out here, MESO just couldn't get any of the original game plans going, especially on that defense side. They were getting kind of worked around the map a little too hard. They couldn't find anything with the ISO. You were talking about a couple different like field micro plays comboed with other things, but it just doesn't have that same oomph on that defense side that you saw when they did have their resurgence in that second half a little bit more of, right, on that attack side. So MESO there, momentum gone for sure. That one hurts, and you can see the difference. We were talking about, what was it, 15-4 or something like that in the first map?
15-3, yes.
Yeah, it's just absurd what happened in that first map, but none of that. And I think part of that, again, not to harp on the same points, but the comfort agents were just not there, right? When you're playing a Yoru, when you're playing an ISO, one of the agents that you don't really play that often, it might be a little bit in your pool, but not as much as the Jet, for example. You're getting that consistent op-up where you see Bunny B go crazy in that first map. It's just not there.
It's hard to deal with that too, because although a lot of the teams here, especially MESOs, they're able to play a bunch of different compositions, and sure, a lot of the times they find success. What kind of risk are you willing to take, especially for a competition like this one, as we brought up before we went into the map? Is an ISO and a Yoru, it's very much out there and very different to what they were doing before. So yeah, you might be able to change the composition, but are you able to adapt on the fly, especially when you're dealing with what Teddy Tactics had, and this was not their map pick. So honestly, props to them, because they were able to push it, and even when things were getting closer, when that bonus was going the other way, it was a Teddy Tactics that was going back to playing their own game, going back to their strength, Wyatt, and making sure that this is how they're going to win.
Definitely. And like you said at the very top, it was just very cool, and it's cool to see them win their first map in the main event. They've been competing. This team has been together for years now, specifically the core two of this team, which is Arya and Kalsushi, two players that were just going off on Haven. Kalsushi was top fragging the ACS 300. Arya had so many crucial kills watching the flank, picking up rotators while the spike was going down, and then threatening that post-plant flank because of it. And this is the original duo that have literally never played on another team. If you go and check the history, it is 2 years of Teddy Tactics. That is it. And that 2-year grind has finally resulted now in the main event, in a map win, which is really cool to see for them. And they're on the cusp now of not just getting a map win, but they could get their first win in the main event and continue on in the lower bracket against a team of Game Changers North America veterans.
One thing that really sucks about growing as a team is sometimes you feel like you improve. Sometimes you feel like when your goal is improve every event that you go out. Sometimes it feels like you improve, but then you still go out worse than you did in the prior event, right? And I think right now we're seeing 100% improvement from Teddy Tactics here over the prior event. So definitely it would have sucked to see them go out in O2 fashion. But here they get the win, right? So already that mental block, gone. It's out of there. You don't have to think about that anymore. And now you can just think about placing even higher, thinking what the next roadblock is that you're going to break, thinking about what the next ceiling is that you're going to break. This type of thing as a team is very, very important to strive towards, and right now it's looking good. MESOs, though, I'm a little concerned about, what happens if they just go back to standard? What happens if Bunny B just picks up the op again and goes on Jet? Like, that sort of thing. That is still something that they're going to need to work out. But obviously Arya and Kalsushi there picking up the slack and doing very, very well on some of the early ideas that they had. Worked phenomenally. And if they can counter out the more standard stuff that hopefully Mesos brings out, then there should be a really close game.
And this is great for Teddy Tactics, but like you said, there's still a point of concern on what Mesos are going to do, because we're going to a map of Ascent as the decider. And this is a map where your duelist, you're going to be holding with the operator, the Jet is going to be holding with the operator. We were wondering what the side of Teddy Tactics has been doing on this map of Ascent, because they like to run with this slightly different compositions in a lot of the maps. And they're playing, actually, I mean, at least last time we saw them, it was a Breach and an Astra that they were running here, Wyatt. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep the same. It's been about 10 days since they last played it, so I feel like it makes sense, and I want to know what they've been preparing and why they want to run with this comp.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, as we've seen from both Abyss and Haven, they are fully leaning into Astra after those recent changes, trying to take advantage of the agent getting a little bit better, right? And having that combination with the Breach gives you listen, a lot of stuns, a lot of ability to set up big site executes, big retakes as well. And then they also run the Cypher on Ascent, which has gotten a lot more popular too. So they're bringing in a composition that these teams are certainly not practicing up against very much. It can be very powerful. We'll have to see if the Mesos have the ability to deal with that, coming in with, typically they're just playing the regular thing that we always see on Ascent.
And I gotta say, I love Teddy Tactics, but I think when it comes to these kind of maps, this is the moment for Mrs. Millionaires to show what they got. Right away, Balado, I'm interested. We talked about the operator, we talked about Bunny B. I mean, that's exactly what we're gonna get, right? Bunny B on the Jet.
Absolutely. And that's something that's going to be difficult to shut down, but I think a lot of times the Breach can be a very good tool at doing that, depending on what side you're on, and particularly on defense. But on attack side too, if you can figure out where Bunny B tends to go and make that call, you can find some really, really easy kills on the Jet op on defense. So looking for that to see if that interaction is going on, looking to see if Arya is trying to be proactive in calling exactly where to send that fault line right at the beginning of the round. And if they can do it, then they're in good shape. But if not, that's going to be the key to watch, right? How hot is Bunny B going to be on that Jet op?
I just want to know really quickly, any predictions? Are we thinking Mesos? Are we thinking Teddy Tactics will get the first match win, Wyatt?
I'm going with Teddy Tactics, I believe.
Okay.
After watching Haven, I believe.
Okay, Bala, what are you thinking?
What's that show day? I'm thinking Mesos. I think right now bringing it back to standard, that's what I mentioned I was concerned about for Teddy, and they're doing right that.
Okay, I'm good with Mesos as well. I think this is a map that it's really going to fit their style and what they like to do and how they like to play. But let's find out if Teddy Tactics, they get the first match win ever in the main event of Game Changers, or if instead it's going to be Mesos once again continue to be dominant against their opponents. And once again, we're going to find out with your casters, Vans and Lemon Kiwi.
Thank you so much. Yes, the desk seems pretty split, and I don't blame them based on all the entertainment that we saw so far.
I'm gonna go for Teddy Tactics, so you're gonna have to beat a tiebreaker to predict who's gonna win.
I'm gonna go with the Millionaires. That sounds like the right move for me. But this is a rematch of, we mentioned at the top show, Mesos Millionaires, the team to beat when it comes to Teddy Tactics. Mesos have knocked them out of 2 qualifiers, and on that second qualifier, Ascent, a 9-3 half start for Teddy Tactics, and eventually leading to a 13-11 loss in favor of Mesos. So this is not a fun map to revisit if you're Teddy Tactics, but changing things up now with a scramble over at the B site.
Saw at least to start things off, Oranges was ready to go for a fault line, but Venus, no matter what, still manages to dash across and get that pick onto Habibti, who was only playing a solo B site. So looks like Mesos Millionaires were expecting some sort of an A hit. And Teddy Tactics, they flooded into this B site to get an easy plant, and then great utility. I mean, Oranges still has full util on a post plant.
Got Sonic, got Stars, you still got a Bunny Bee, you still got a retaking chance. Mesos barking at the doors there, trying to get anyone's attention with a grab well that could be pulled. No, just smokes, and Mesos gonna use that to sneak on by, but running right into the fire of Teddy Tactics. 2 versus 1 now. Animal very injured and surrounded, trying to address this flash as best as they can, getting from behind, and what a flick from Oranges while Animal was already low, and it's Teddy Tactics with the pistol.
Teddy Tactics, you saw what they were trying to do on the post plant, and Oranges was just trying to count that timer down praying for the next fault line to come out because they're basically lined up to just go for the fault line into spawn to try to delay even more. So I love it, at least from Mrs. Millionaires, understanding that they have to pick up the pace a little bit more, initiates Bunny B with the dash to go through and start these fights. But the crossfire setup was way too good for TD Tactics. Again, it was a 5 versus 1 inside the B site. It's so hard for you to retake right after there for Mrs. Millionaires. And now they want to up the tempo. The fault line's getting ready to stun towards the A main for the players to potentially go for a pick around here, especially if people are going to try to swing out after they grab the orb. But
now the smoke right at the door. Teddy ready to pounce. Teddy Tactics, well, they don't really want that. They'll keep Arya insert in case Mesos, who sometimes like to be forward pushing on the defense. We saw a lot of that on our previous map there of Haven. But you're going to try to adapt to that by catching Mesos being overly aggressive. But
yeah,
Mesos have surely calmed down by now.
And Wyatt's been praising Arya on these lurk positions on the last map of Haven. You can already see her getting set up to support the team to execute towards the B side. She'll hear the full rotates. And then she's going to find the timing for potentially 2 kills. Cast her curse.
Way to go.
My bad, Jet. At least they get the plant. They get the plant. They still have pretty decent guns here to play the post plant, where Teddy only has an upgrade of a stinger and Bunny B's very low on HP.
I say, good thing that dart doesn't do damage. Because Bunny B would have been stung to death. Still, 4v5 retake, not impossible, especially with Kalsushi and Raven evening up the numbers. 3-3. Heavy weaponry for TD Tactics on the post plant, though, and just going 1 by 1 is not going to favor them. Mesos tried to address the angles, but shut down on all sides. Teddy Tactics with the anti-ego.
Yeah, doing a great job with the full executes, and the power of that breach that Bala was mentioning could be very, very good in terms of how they want to execute, depending what side they're on. And I agree with Bala. Breach here on the defensive side is something that was brought up in the very early days of Valorant. I'm thinking about like Kaplan with Ghost Gaming, or even Strong Legs in the past two, were advocates of a breach on this map because of the value that the fault line could get from, let's say, market into A main, into B main to support. But on the attack side, you're definitely seeing here that Orange is playing the comfort pick of under this breach role, is still allowing to create some space here for Venus to really move in, and the rest of the team, as a matter of fact, to get these rounds.
Arya went past the one-way smoke, put a smoke of her own right at the doorway. Now has found herself in a pretty tough position, but with the support of Oranges, with that flash, it seems made the best of defense. Oh wow, they do not care about all that smoke. Literally, they walked past it, got the kill, works out. 4v4 though. Any Tactics lose their lurk. They still have a chance over at B. And Animal's just front and center, and it's gonna call the push on Teddy Tactics.
Yeah, unfortunately there for Teddy Tactics, they couldn't capitalize on the trade, so that's gonna narrow down that window of opportunity to convert a bonus round on their side. It comes down to this alert that you have moving up from Oranges, and you have to, I love that there's the yellow drone at least. That's gonna confirm here that there is players watching on that side, trying to get the wall bang with the Sheriff, force the hand out. It's labored, somehow Bunny B wins both of those!
With 6 HP, this is the Bunny B that I wanted to see in Game Changers. She was incredible yesterday on the Jet. She is a star and doesn't panic under that pressure. Now the spike all within their reach and not in Teddy Tactics, well, in Orange's
Nice
reach.
shot.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, that's kind of clean.
A bonus round to make it expensive against Mesos, but I mean, that should have been a guaranteed kill, or at least a guaranteed trade for Teddy Tactics. They had the right positioning behind that well, somehow just spraying, and unfortunately the RNG of the bullets not landing there to get the kill on the Bunny. He almost got that one onto Kalsuchi, because sorry, onto Oranges, because Oranges only had 10 HP at the end after getting that headshot down towards the middle. But right there, that was just so unlucky. Kalsuchi just went for the extra strafe on the left side, and I think it was a bulldog. You can't really wallbang through that or pen through that to get that trade. And Mesos Millionaires are able to salvage that gun round and move into this fourth round with very low shield. So an opportunity here for Teddy Tactics to really get value off headshots, especially when Venus has a Phantom to work with as the entry.
Flash from overhead,
Nice.
activating Bunny Bee. Just the same lurk from Arya, inserting herself into that orb corner, and Messos with fantastic timing to catch that before she got into cover. And Oranges is still around just to keep some type of map control and to keep the ball rolling for Teddy Tactics, still looking to commit towards A. They take control of Tree, and Bunny Bee's gonna call that out. The aftershock to dislodge anyone from that corner. Teddy Tactics take it one step at a time, and they have addressed Bunny Bee by force. Flash on the other side of the box. Teddy kind of delay. Teddy at the corner. Just rips Teddy Tactics at the seams. And it's all up to Oranges, who's been left alive and also left alone to deal with all of that.
Fall line at the ready, but it's a high-low on the top with the spike drop towards Generator, and I like the idea that MESO's Millionaires wants to disrespect the amount of times that Arya is trying to cross over towards the orb. Because again, you can't really omen left. TP, you have to force your body to run out. And they punish that right away, and now Arya is probably going to have to second guess how they really want to take control of the left side cubby when they take control of A main.
Okay, fault line to dislodge the person in hell, get a chance to pre-aim, but not high enough crosshairs, and okay, any ult orb would be big for Oranges if they're three-way from Rolling Thunder. Not going to work out. Messos, though, tying things up with back-to-back rounds. You love to see it.
And we were talking about comfort picks in the past where it was a little bit difficult to see that it was going to have the best synergy when they were playing that map on Haven. But this time around, when you're seeing MESO's Millionaires play the defensive side, or at least this map of Ascent, you are playing back into your comfort role. And Habibti, on this KO has had some marvelous flashes here to engage these fights, and looking at it again, just getting ready to pop flash to potentially go for a swing out from the pizza from Bunny Bee, but instead it's a fast tempo from Teddy Tactics.
Hey, at least Bunny Bee being in the middle of the map, she was able to flex and help support Tiger's sight. Not being activated by Habibti this time. Messos just completely prevent the entry from Teddy Tactics despite having that first blood to Teddy herself. Arya's in the mid-map, giving them options, giving them map control.
The thing is, though, for Teddy Tactics is Venus already popped the dash to try to get an entry towards B main, and nobody peeked out. So for them to try to get back into the A site, you won't be able to clear that space that you want to, especially where Animal's fully set up. There's 2 nanostorms to prevent the door from being closed right away. A delay from Habibti with the fragment, and I love that aftershock, though. It doesn't allow for them to get a time to flash the smoke.
Eyes down.
Oh, that's tough, yeah. With Venus getting flashed, at least she had backup, so the trade's in Teddy Tactics' favor. But they're pretty injured.
No
And Bunny Bee's got some pretty deadly butter knives with Teddy's name on it. Arya trying to get into the smoke, and Cal Sushi trades 1v1, just like on Haven. Red Bull clutch in Cal Sushi's favor, but it would be quite a monumental clutch, especially at 44 HP.
10 seconds
Spike there.
They have Hunter's Fury, so if they could somehow make it back into main, but it's now being cut by Slanty in the end towards Tree. So Cal Sushi has nothing to do but to play towards Hell, and it's okay for them to use the Owl Drone because you kind of gave your position away that you're playing towards the back. So you're hoping the last second. Oh no. Slanty made it through.
The timing. Oh! Cal Sushi's different. They're just simply different. The same 1v1 they won against Slandy on Haven, they do it again on Ascent to give Teddy Tactics the lead. Ooh.
I was just about to mention there's an overcook on a rotate over from Teddy Tactics right over here because you already had a Rolling Thunder available. If there was pressure coming through on a 3 versus 2, man, throw your Rolling Thunder, play your Hunter's Fury in the pulse plant. But unfortunately, there was an overheat from Bunny Bee after getting the first kill and dashing forward to try to pick a weapon on top of that, which allowed, again, a star player like Cal Sushi, not cooling down since that second map of Haven to win that 1v1 with a nice flake onto Slanty.
Woo, Bunny Bee sees all those bullets. He says, I got one for you. And connects on Cal Sushi, shutting... Yeah, a single one.
Here.
And it hurts. And killing that MVP that you're trying to hype up there.
Yeah.
Oh, a charge in the smoke. Disrespectful out of Animal.
Double
That's
caster
what you
curse.
gotta do. That's true.
I'm gonna stop hyping people up here because it's just not working for them.
Oh, yeah, hyped up Bunny Bee.
Not
Shut
hyping
down
up
by
Venus. I'm not hyping up Venus.
Not hyping up anyone. There's so much talent here. Not gonna drop names though.
But at least
Thunder.
Oranges has a lot of utility right now to support. And I was gonna say maybe Venus could cut some players off to rotate back towards the spawn, but they're deciding to push forward instead. This might be a great call here. That's a double backstab potential.
Oh, just heard the drop.
Oh.
Hello, surprise.
Enemy remaining.
Beepty.
Beautiful.
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
Oranges with the fault line.
Blocking sight.
Secures that kill for Venus. Now it's just
Oh, no.
Slandy.
Is this another overcook? Because there's 20 seconds left. You're running towards the A site, and if the Hunter's Fury can get the kill onto the spike planner, it's over.
Even just preventing the plant to be up to time. It's like they should be able to get away with it with the aftershock and the
Oh
double.
my God, they got
the
it.
plant goes through. Huge. Like the attempt out of Slandy. Difference of a second could have turned that round for MESO's Millionaires. 1v1. Slandy can make up for the 1v1 loss last time. Easy job too with Venus at 46 HP. Glass is still there, so can't even go on a flank. Just has to hit this head on.
This will be ace for Venus.
Slandy taps spike. Going from
Concentrate,
hell.
Sofa.
Gotta be in main. Venus playing time. Halfway through. Slandy pre-shoots. Venus knows it. And the ace for Venus.
The iBuyPower ace for Venus, and definitely showing that they're much more comfortable playing a role like a Jet to create that space, to create these fights in their favor, rather than like a Yoru on Abyss. This is full redemption coming out right now from a lot of these players from Teddy Tactics.
Enemy remaining.
But that assist from Oranges with that fault line for that second kill was huge as well. For them to convert that was what, a 2 versus 4 that was won here by Teddy Tactics, might allow here, or might force MESO's Millionaires to finally get a timeout. And it's actually a Teddy Tactics timeout instead.
Yeah, it's like Venus just mad celebrating right now.
Yeah, calm down the hype for sure. It's like, all right.
Let them have their moment. 'Cause 4 out of 5 of those kills were all solo. Like,
Yeah.
it was her in a 1v2, secures the double kill, gets the backstab on Habibti and well, I think the kill on Habibti had the fault line. One of them did.
Yeah.
But that was all Venus. Pure mechanics. And that puts her at the top of the scoreboard too for the team. And it's only a 2-round advantage though. And any lead would be nice. But remember that 9-3 lead they
That's
had
it.
against Mesos before. That was on defense though.
And that, and also winning pistol round on Abyss and getting ecoed right after. So this is definitely a call for Ender to really calm the nerves, despite a great 2v4 and ace coming out from Venus. You just want to make sure that you don't want to let this momentum slip, right? Because when you're being complacent against an eco from Mesos, and you could get thrifty like you did on the first map, you just got to make sure here that you're really turning every single stone to not get caught in what Mesos is trying to do.
Ooh, that fault line play that Mesos went. Getting punished. Full command, though, activated from Mesos none but... thought it was. No, it's just a knife hitting Teddy Tactics to slow them down from trying to punish Bunny Bee. Maybe the flash. No, it's just a knife from VT. They wanted to go for a flash after that. And Mesos are going to calm down. And Bunny Bee is out. Rolling Thunder in. And Aria did a great job checking that corner. That could have costed them dearly. Get the plant. They still have eyes on heaven. Teddy Tactics are not slowing down.
And it's fine. Now you're trying to retake with the Bucky. Not going to happen. You have at least invested, yes, into 2 big ults in an anti-eco, but as I mentioned before, this is one of those calls where you don't want to let the lead slip. So if you need to go for these ults to make sure that you clear out towards that site, might as well go for it. With especially what you just called before, great utility being utilized by Habibti in the first place. That knife that actually didn't allow Venus to really get a dash in, around, and behind the Cosmic Divide, and the fragment on top of that to slow down that push. You forced Teddy Tactics to reset, and they did so by using the Rolling Thunder right after to just guarantee the round in your favor. And when you're playing on the attack side of Ascent, where you know that you need as many rounds as you can on the attack side to have a comfortable defensive side and basically kind of leave your foot a little bit off the gas because of that. And you're definitely going to try to get that round here in your anti-eco. So well done here by TD Tactics. Now they fight back. Teddy pushed all the way up in the corner of Insight. That is insane.
Maybe they Messos wanted to catch if Arya and Oranges were still at that A main. But it's just going to be Kalasushi, a big change-up. Meanwhile, Venus is scaled all the way towards Pizza. There's some KJ util limiting them, and the Aldrone. Kalasushi's a bit occupado. Just traded. Heady Tactics are about to converge onto B. But somehow Venus able to get past the alarm bot.
Yeah, and I love those small things from Teddy, but we'll talk about that in a bit because Teddy Tactics are looking to go for a plow into the B side, especially when Arya's meeting up with the team with the spike.
Yeah, a lot of angles, but an open top of sight. Okay, good thing Arya, aka Astra, is there. Close that up because creeping around that corner is Bunny B. But Teddy Tactics taking them a lot of time to get to find these targets, to get a sense of security, to get a spike planted, and it's MESO shutting them down. It's Oranges and Raven left, and the girl theft. It's gonna reveal Habibti. Doesn't matter though. He's happy to be visited. Only 12 seconds left, and Oranges only do what they can. Some damage into Slandy, but Team Ace in favor of Messo's Millionaires to keep them still in this game.
Yeah, and again, I want to highlight the great play by Teddy that pushed all the way up. Not Teddy Tactics, Teddy the player, that pushed all the way up here on that left side corner of the A main. Just because the Astra smokes are actually slightly bigger than all the other controller smokes, especially the Omen smoke, which I think is probably the second smallest one after the Clove. It allows for you to really dance around and not get your feet spotted if you're holding in that corner. So she was able to dodge the owl drone and get that pick. And already with that, when you're trying to sell a fake towards the A side and get picked that way, it gives a chance here for Messo's Millionaires to stack towards the B side and win the rest of the fight. So that was a nice little selfish play that turned out to be a huge result. And that rendered to be positive here for Messo's Millionaires for that defensive win.
Not even map control for Messo's Millionaires. I mean, with how pushed up they are towards A, but leaving tree open. And their crossfire almost set up for Astra smokes get in the way, and Bunny B isolates the 1v1. He fights back for the tree control for the defense.
Oh, not this time.
Oh!
Catcher curse, sorry.
Way to go.
Yeah, I gotta stop. I really gotta stop. I gotta stop. I apologize.
It's always towards Teddy Tactics too. Like, they're gonna hate you.
Sorry, Andrew.
Oh, it continues. When it rains, it pours. And now the spike is down. How is Raven just gonna sit in this corner? Habibti is just worried about Venus being in tree and has to deal with the problem if they get the spike. It's fine. It's about winning the war at the end, and Habibti's on a tear. She's won every 1v1 she's been in. And it's just Raven who wants to get the spike back and won't be able to. 3 for Habibti that round.
Yeah, things are starting to slip. As we mentioned before here, since the timeout, yes, they were able to convert here into the anti-eco, but remember, a timeout could also be leveraged by your opponent, so definitely some talks are being done here by Rice Balling with the rest of the team to make sure that they clean up their act a little bit on the defensive side, but it's also just, again, on Teddy playing so aggressively towards this A-side control, and they've been doing a great job for Messo's Millionaires to shut down early A-side control in the past 3 rounds. Now, it seems like Teddy Tactics, they want to answer back, not give a chance here for Raven to move forward, so they just want to go for the full pop.
Venus getting kind of caught by some util placed at the doorway through the smoke. Gets out. Their life, though. And Teddy Tactics will grab the orb. Not close to Rolling Thunder, though, but mid-map controls. Sonic. Not sure if it revealed Teddy Tactics there.
Nobody. But here's the thing, that's once again the dash being used quite early, suppressed for a second time, and it gets info on so many players towards A main. So they know now for Messo's Millionaires that Teddy Tactics was going for a stop re-hit, a stop and go. Now it's a stop and full stop, especially after losing Arya, and that's no smokes now for the A-side hit. And sorry, it was a null command, not even a second knife.
Teddy Tactics waiting out the smoke. It's gonna be a while.
I need it. Blocking vision.
Messos
Yeah, because they're gonna put
around the
another one.
corner. Yeah, it is never ending. And actually, Teddy herself is in the smoke, so could maybe use her still alive. Smoke left.
Yeah.
Also, the
And
Cosmic
a wall.
Divide, and there's a wall, and Teddy Tactics gonna break it down. They sit in their own cage, though, and that's where Missiles were hiding. The flash. Missiles weren't even allowed to fight back to really set up. Teddy Tactics lost a lot of bodies. Just getting the march on. 1v2. Flash. VCT, ring around the Rosie. Animal doesn't respect the 1v1, but I do respect this 5-to-5.
Yeah, Beauty once again doing a great job just to delay enough for Animal to close in and get the kill. But again, when you're full stop every single time and all Teddy needs to do is continue to cycle. You got 5 stars now on an Astra in the latest patch. So why not, on top of that, use the Cosmic Divide to not give a chance for Teddy to say, okay, we'll go now. Oh, wait, we'll go. Oh, wait, we can't. Okay, let's just die. Right, but there was still an opportunity for them to turn it around with how Kalsushi was able to trade back 2 kills on top of that. But in the end, when you're playing a 1 versus 2 with the delay that Habiti was bringing up,
Here.
this was Millionaires finally salvaging their rounds back on the technically the easier side.
Ooh. Honeybee is menace. Okay. Animal just taking everybody else's kills. I love this. She definitely wanted to do that on ISO last map. Animal. Back to the agent. She is a master at 5-to-5. Remember, this is a lower bracket, so it is do or die. And this op is still annoying from Bunny being mid.
Yeah. The Oranges, you saw them just looks like they were trolling on a 360 there, but really it's just to give a chance for Teddy Tactics to try to talk the last round of the half.
Oh. Ooh. Nice shots out of Oranges, but that's a lot of people to shoot for sure. And Messos will be in a lead after coming back at what, a 2-to-5 deficit.
Yeah.
And this has been pretty close. A lot of work from Bunny Bee.
Yeah, exactly. Since the timeout coming back and then losing the eco, and they pulled out an off. It's up. The first bloods that came out from Bunny Bee, but also from Teddy, has been very much a thorn in the side of how Teddy Tactics is trying to get these splits, this early control towards middle and towards the A site. Maybe going back for that B pop like they did here on the first pistol round could be the answer for that.
Teddy Tactics is going to be way more aggressive in mid after they were just picked apart from Bunny Bee and Animal last round. I like the adaptations from Teddy Tactics. Gotta remember to say both words or it's going to get confusing.
Does get confusing, yeah. But now there's no
Rolling
smokes, but at
Thunder.
least there's a Rolling Thunder, exactly. But they were a little bit further out. Orange was still hanging out towards the A side. But again, this is going to be a Rolling Thunder to come through. There's still smokes to come across. There's still a great opportunity here for Bunny Bee with this operator inside market to do more damage. There's only 1 cage available.
And the immediate punish as Slaney went for shock bolts to Rolling Thunder, and Slaney did deliver.
Cosmetic.
She didn't even need Animal's help. She's just out from the room and out to play. And Messo's dismantling Teddy Tactics, who have, I thought we were going to have a better try at the B site. Kind of struggled to make the space back in, and now the lockdown just to ensure that Kalsushi can't get the spike back. And right on the edge of this, Messos may not know. Now they know Kalsushi in the corner and locks down on Bunny Bee. Couple seconds left. It's fragging time. Kalsushi. Closet. An Animal with 3 and back-to-back huge rounds out of Animal, I should say, from Messos Millionaires.
Yeah, Animal definitely stepping up to the plate for sure. And when you're thinking, okay, well, the amount of times they're trying to work towards the A site, not working out. Middle, opt down by Bunny Bee. Okay, let's try towards B, but Animal is there. So again, since this timeout, it seems that we've seen a totally different Messos Millionaires that just started seeing red in their eyes and not missing any single shot going through here on the defensive side. But You talked about a 9-3 lead that Teddy Tactics had the last time that they faced off against MESO's Millionaires, and that was when they were actually playing on the defensive side. And this is, once again, the power of what the Breach could bring into stalling some fast hits from the team. Even if Bunny B is able to dash through, a fault line could stop the rest of that hit, so you could isolate that duelist inside the side to get the pick. And that's why you see Orange is currently playing all the way back towards middle and getting ready for that fault line towards main, that fault line towards either main of A or B.
So high-low setup from Teddy Tactics at A. Just a lot of space given to MESO's Millionaires.
Everybody's just set up for traps here. Yeah, I mean, there's a trip set up here by Raven just by the switch, and they're playing with a Ghost. So they're hoping that's going to catch a Jet Dash coming through as well. You have Cal Sushi doing the same thing with a Ghost behind the shed too. There's a camera watching above. You're playing a lot more reactionary here for Teddy Tactics because you've seen them playing so far back and passively. You're giving a lot of map control for MESO's Millionaires, which also gives you an opportunity to sell some fakes right now for MESO's. Picking up that orb could be very huge here. Look at the pivot now towards his B side. There's a solo hold towards A out in the open now for Arya. What's the knife though?
Oranges with full util and Habibti still with a flash remaining, and Spike is down and MESO's is still trying to collect themselves. Arya did just get spotted dropping down and off the flash. Thought she had the upper hand. At least goes 1 for 1. And Venus from behind. Good backstab. Huge advantage for Teddy Tactics in terms of numbers. Firing squad engages. And Teddy Tactics take the pistol.
A huge shot coming out there from Arya to get that first pick inside that A site. And good on her to even... I mean, it's not really on her to avoid that knife. It was kind of like thrown there by Habibti, which gives that an opportunity for Arya to get that surprise kill on the player running in. But after that, popping that smoke, dropping in it, delaying enough here to allow flashes to come through on the rotate. Very, very nice plays by Arya to allow Teddy Tactics to win a pistol coming through here. An important pistol to potentially cross Teddy Tactics to the finish line, unless they get ecoed here.
The Outlaw over on the A site. So MESO's Millionaires very quietly scale up, and Cal Sushi's not playing close where the shock bolt could delay things. It's gonna Sonic and spot at least the duelist. And Teddy Tactics can't even get sights on MESO's Millionaires in there until they're too close, and Raven stoic at the corner bites back at MESO's Millionaires. And Teddy Tactics be able to encroach on time or game 7-7. So they do, able to keep every single weapon too.
I'll have to look back on the replay because I think Arya was able to place even a star in the back of the garage with a Gravwell to make sure that you vulnerable some players. Give a chance here for teammates to survive. Look at how many players have the vulnerable icon on the top of their chest trying to fight against Raven towards that back. And that's also Oranges to support with fault lines too, so there's just so much util to really not allow for you to get that drop all the way towards the back. And maybe the reason why Teddy Tactics are playing a little bit further back in terms of this composition that they're currently running with until this round happens. Of course, this is a bonus round that they have, so they are going to try to find some value out of this weak weaponry. And that's going to start with the Outlaw looking down towards middle with a little bit of a support. But everybody's trying to play close range and close that gap with the SMGs for the rest of the team.
Did just see Shopify Rebellion taking the win 2-1. They just closed out map 3, 13-3. Happy to report for Shopify Rebellion there, going up to the upper bracket final.
Against FlyQuest. Wanted to report for Fly players and Fly fans.
Yep. Means YPX versus Umfies. It's a lower bracket quarterfinal. Refrag is waiting for the result of this match. And it has been close. If the 7-7 isn't big enough of a hint, as Venus, the Outlaw, the one shot, but a bigger shot out of Animal. And now they'll have to worry about the Cypher trip, but I mean, you should already know they're probably going to be up in this direction. Animal with 10 HP could go and be bait.
And Animal was the only one with full shield too. That was crazy. That was her that got that pick.
Just budget ISO time.
Oh my God.
But a lot for Raven. I don't know if she can get the 3 or 4K again. She'll try it. Okay, a good target redirection as Teddy bulldozes her down in the closet. 14 seconds left. the spike still needs to go down. Oranges with the aftershock. Some attempt at a delay. Now needs to wait for Arya to get in position. They're gonna go at opposite staircase. MESOs have their eyes peeled on this post plan.
Oh, that's huge.
That's cheating. Like, counted. Arya knows too much. She knows too much. 2v2. As SMG from Oranges makes their way on the other side. Arya.
Oh my god.
With 2. And the one shutdown. Habibti gets away from Arya going for the trade. And now Habibti's just trying to play their life on the post play. And Arya gets all 3.
What a round there for Arya. Definitely time to go for the defuse. And Teddy Tactics able to convert here around. That, you talked about the cheating, but that's what you got to do here when you're a player that's dead for the team. Pull up your map, ping out where the positions could be here, of where people could be ratting out. And they pinged at that box. Arya just looks down, gets the kill, and then once again, Oranges, the support from that fault line to get that stun and not allow Habibti to support on a crossfire setup in the back of the site and allow 2 individual 2v1s in favor of Teddy Tactics to win that round. That was huge synergy right there for Teddy Tactics.
An Odin buy and an Outlaw buy from Teddy Tactics. Oh my
Boom.
god, they shred through Buddy B and catch Teddy as MESOs went for mid-map control. Teddy Tactics could extend their lead with a 5 versus 3. Dangerous territory out of MESOs Millionaires, who brought up such a fun composition on Haven. But maybe not sticking to their guns could hurt them after all. They're not impossible to 3v5, that door closing. Teddy Tactics bursts it down, aftershock to get Animal out from the corner. And Venus dashes away, couldn't adjust. Animal's too good. But it's back and forth we go. With the spike still in B. Slandy and Animal try to reconnect, and Animal takes care of business. He's himself in a 1v1. Knows exactly where Arya's going to be pushing from too. Positive divide. Arya uses the element of mystery, countered by another ult. How about a lockdown? There's Arya already in an earlier position than Animal may have expected, but has to get out from getting detained.
Gucci.
Have time to go defuse, and that will get Teddy Tactics an even bigger lead. A 5v3 though to come down to a 1v1 is still quite a close affair.
Imagine she stuns herself and that's not enough time for her to defuse. Just like to overcommit the trolls, but no, definitely you have enough time. 12 seconds left on the defuse, but you talked about it. How about that pick? How about a lockdown? But the lockdown really also gives the position away of where Animal is at. Because I feel like even the Cosmic Divide that was thrown, you don't really know what the spikes is going to get planted, if it's in front dice or by the staircase. But as soon as Animal goes for that lockdown by the Radionite boxes, you kind of have an idea that she's going to play around the jump up. So I love the reposition from Arya towards the end. She wins that one and allows Teddy Tactics to break MESO's Millionaires to MESO's Porinaires.
God. Porinaires? I hate that.
I'm gonna invent some words here and there sometimes, you know? Yeah, the brokes.
I swear we know English. Okay, guys. Teddy Tactics, they know ball. They know defense. In fact, they haven't dropped a defensive round yet. We talked very highly about Teddy Tactics. How they had that 9-3 half on defense. They want to close it out the right way and get their revenge on a team that knocked them out of both qualifiers earlier than Teddy Tactics wanted. Now you got an op buy, 2 from Venus, and Odin from Calstucci, all the way at the back of point B, so they don't get flashed or can get away from util a bit easier. Back into a B. Meanwhile, MESOs are trying to dash their way into tree and have met some trouble.
So interesting. Yeah, talk about it in a bit. Venus does have contact into players towards B main.
Oh, unfortunate. She's like, they'll never expect me taking the shock bolt on purpose. And well, that did make you weak enough for the GC Sheriff to ring true. And that means 4v4 Sheriff versus Vandals. And well, Teddy likes the chaos. Almost went back into her smoke and could have been elusive, but re-challenged Raven. Raven, who had a better gun, Brought down to 26 HP though.
Player standing.
Say weaker defense, and
Oh my.
Slandy gets the upper hand against Arya. Slandy has a Hunter Sphere. You hear the Odin loud and proud on the left side, but you don't know where that second player is. Sonic may help things. The Odin surely is running out of bullets, right? Oh man! Heady Tactics on top. They'll go up to 10.
Keeping the protocols, making sure that you're with your buddy to guarantee the trade. That's what happened for the last 2 kills in favor of Teddy Tactics, but not until what I thought was going to be a little bit questionable, because I love the Caterpillar smokes that came out from Teddy to try to surprise this double push into the garden. But after that, Bunny B just went into the A site when it could have been called that it's not fully cleared. They never really cleared towards that side. It was a free kill coming out. I think that was even from Arya on the other side onto Bunny B. But then towards that B site to retake the way that he did for Teddy Tactics continues to be very, very clean. Teddy somehow slipped through and almost got a 2K out of that one, which could have maybe given a chance here for MESO's Millionaires to Thrifty. Not as quick as Bunny B, but at least gets info.
If Venus had the Kovacs going, that would have been first blood for the defense.
Aim Labs.
Yeah, that too. Any kind of aim, or just quicker on the trigger, honestly. But Teddy Tactics up by 3 rounds. It's not over yet. And they'll hold down all types of Cypher util and the stars. The defense at A. Still a deeper hold at B site too for the defense. So MESOs are really gonna have to work for this.
They're pinging out the D-op is still towards middle now for Venus, so MESOs wants to avoid this. They're going to smoke down towards M2 so they can split back towards the A site. Remember, we have oranges as this breach, full kit, jiggling towards the window. Right now, they could just stall towards this side while the full trips are happening towards the A site still.
Hey, Hunter Fury. Okay, teammates in the way. Unfortunate. While MESOs are still able to reorganize. Sushi firing back too. And Teddy Tactics able to find trade before Animal cuts down rotations. Punish out of Venus with the opting something to scrap a bit better against Slandy and Habibti. Only shock bolts, no flashes, no knife from MESOs.
It's going to be too long. There's no way, right, that you have the time to walk all the way back towards A main and get a double kill. They're just hoping here that there's somebody towards A main playing the pulse plant in that area so that it could isolate 2 1v1s. Oh, now the jig is up.
The jig is up. Take off the mask, Scooby-Doo style. Who's that? Venus. The 1v2. Okay, they're wasting util though. You know where both of them are because they're throwing util and tries to isolate the duel with the smokes, and Habibti is just better. The MESOs are within reach.
It came down to just brute force of being able to just land your shot when you're just pummeling inside that A site from the doorway. Because yes, there was support, there was chaos around the Hunter Sphere on both ends, both attack and defense. But getting those 2 first entries and then this lurk from Animal continuing the lurk menace that she's done from the first map of Abyss, playing as a Cypher, this time back into her comfort role as a KJ on this 3rd map. Being able to turn the course of the tide, at least for MESO's Millionaires, to, what is this, their 1st round on the attack, 2nd round on the attack? Desperately needed this.
Now their first attacking win, and they're going well, man, everyone. I think Teddy able to escape to the shadows after getting hit by some util from oranges. MESO's just got to sit there and wait. Usually it's MESO's that has the aggressive defense, and Teddy Tactics took a big risk.
Player standing.
You know, not bad out of oranges. Made the job a lot easier for Sushi, but only a sheriff. I don't know if there's any better weapons in that hallway. There were. Teddy's not to let it go for free, and a little sketchy there.
Wait, how did he land the 2nd headshot onto Animal behind the wall?
No worries, Charlie. No worries.
That still ended up just being Teddy alive for the last trade. I have to see. Hopefully, I don't want to call the production, but hopefully we have that on replay because that was insane. But nonetheless, it comes to show how, despite MESO's Millionaires winning their 1st attack round, there was already right there. Like, how the hell did that happen? How was there actually an economy broken there for Teddy Tactics? It comes to show how close these rounds have been in terms of duels all around in the second half between these two teams. So this is definitely a banger of a third map that we're currently witnessing.
And MESO's still got gas in the tank with back-to-back rounds. Then one. Venus knives out, ready to scrap through A, and Teddy Tactics are still okay with having a more aggressive defense. Maybe not walk it all the way down defense, but still one posted up. Slandy caught by fault line there from Oranges. Drone will spot Arya. Okay, you know there's smokes gonna be at A. Something to contest that as Venus just brought down to 0. All thanks to Animals Util. What a read.
Yeah, with shock darts too. I mean, that's gotta be the tell when you have somebody playing out in the open so passively towards aiming to instantly break the owl drone. There's gotta be somebody towards wine. So great job from MESO Millionaires to use utility to make sure they clear out that spot, and that's now the Blade Storm gone.
You are divided.
Arya was meditating for a little too long and had me worried, but
30 seconds.
Cosmic Divide. Arya isolating herself.
Wow.
And oh my god! 1v3!
Wow.
Are you serious? A+. I don't care. That's still A+ for Arya. Bringing MESOs down to only 2 players. Spike planted. Rolling Thunder not able to prevent this, but retake ensuing. The drop down. Kalsushi not with the best gun to do so. But you've discovered where Teddy is. Brought down to less than 40 HP. Teddy Tactics can still secure a round. Thanks to Arya's effort. 3 kills to start, but Habibti so different on these swings. A great lock. Doesn't suppress off the knife. And the flash in hand.
God.
And Habibti doesn't even need it. The Red Bull clutch. 2v5
But again,
turnaround.
This was actually off Teddy. Being hit by Rolling Thunder. Throws out a smoke right on the ground to keep herself alive for the longest time. To not get... to finally come out fully stunned from the Rolling Thunder. To get that kill onto Kalsushi. Delayed long enough to allow Habibti, to rotate back and to win that 1v2. Now you're starting to see hero plays coming out from MESO Millionaires on the attack side. That's breaking the full confidence of Teddy Tactics now on their defensive side. And desperately, yes, you need this timeout to be called now by Ender. The last one that they have now in this series, which also could be taken advantage of on the side of MESO Millionaires with Eric's call as the coach for MESO.
Arya was insane that last round. Just unfortunately not all of that work for naught.
Exactly. It comes down to that too. You were just mentioning, like, it was such a nice play by Arya for a 3K, but then Teddy to turn that back, Teddy the player, to turn that back with a smoke on that ground as the Astra to just answer back. Like, the Astra skills on both Arya and Teddy is so good, despite it not really showing on the scoreboard. Their utility is so good right now for both teams.
Last time out of Teddy Tactics, MESOs haven't used a single one. They are true believers. Even though Wyatt didn't believe in them, they believe in themselves. I mean, I don't blame him. This has been a wacky match. At least Haven was pretty wacky. Now,
yeah,
we've settled down.
This is game face.
Game on.
I have the spike.
Now MESO Millionaires, I mean, they're playing back towards the spawn. They know that Teddy Tactics is on a low buy, so they're expecting potentially like a shark attack. You have such good util to be able to do that with the Breach and an Astra. But now with a minute left on the clock, they're realizing now that Teddy Tactics are turtling somewhere. So you're forcing early util. Owl Drone already coming out to clear towards the A side, but then really nothing else outside of that.
Raven's got a camera in the corner, so
yeah,
safe spot to just call that out.
But also solo play, right? The thing here that Raven could do is call the camera, call for some help throughout their cages on both sides of the back site. And then hoping that a vulnerable star comes through so that they can get a one and done at that spot.
A lockdown. Raven is sticking around.
Wow.
And Kalsushi from Pizza catches Habibti in the site. There's still a trip protecting Hal Sushi.
Oh, that's
They would
huge.
have leave that open. Speaking of leaving things open, well,
Right there.
the site is open. The spike is planted. Good start from Mesos.
Wow.
Never mind.
The shots are so good from both teams.
Now Teddy creeping up, trying to get ahead of the game, being proactive, at least clears the backside. One place to be coming from, that mid-cut. And Teddy Tactics flooding in. Animal could be huge here, already with 2. Gets phone line, Origins doesn't get sights, it only baits them into the line of fire. Animal in a 1v1 against Arya. Zarya's gonna touch the spike in the corner
Oh
and
my.
gets the jump on Animal. And
Time?
time? Could be close?
Not gonna happen.
Oh my god, my points your way!
That was such a nice try. But dude, that 2vx coming in on the post plan for Mesos was actually quite nice towards the end. The push forward from Teddy, the alarm bot too, to make sure that things work out. But this was such big gambles for Mesos Millionaires to actually engage into that B site, because they went for a lockdown. They faked out the A site to make them think that, oh, it was just a lockdown for a fake. It worked out. So many players got caught off the rotate. You even saw Venus getting caught off guard and picked out in the open, but somehow still almost ended up here a victory for Teddy Tactics. As I mentioned before, these rounds and the economy don't do justice of how close these rounds have been. Now Mesos Millionaires have an opportunity to take the lead and their turn to close the series.
Yeah, after Mesos started off the half 7-5, kind of ran into a stubborn defense of Teddy Tactics, who came back from a 5-7 deficit to a 10-7 lead in favor of Teddy Tactics. And the lead has gone so back and forth. Watch this fault line trap maybe from Teddy Tactics. Al Sushi ready to jump. And there's the execution. Even Mesos couldn't do anything to trade or try and punish that. With all the smokes in their way, Mesos are going to retreat back to mid and rush into tree. Panicked with what to do next. And Arya, at least in the corner, kind of cheeses 1 kill, but Mesos are in a 3v3 still with the spike.
Teddy was able to get the kill onto Venus while Venus was dashing away. Now breaking the window.
30 seconds left.
No wall bang coming through, and Teddy makes it inside the site, so they'll be able to at least to get a flat down.
And the turret will ping when someone's in heaven. From the defense of Teddy Tactics, you got the Odin pressuring that half of the site from Teddy Tactics. So Mesos Millionaires, no eyes in heaven.
Flash recon.
Just okay. Mesos are flashed, and now the Odin trying to flush out the rats from underneath. And Teddy Tactics are running out of time. They've had good ideas, but they haven't been able to get those targets. Raven emerges from tree, and there is the strap. And oh, now Sushi cleans up 2. Animal was trying to hide, and now we're all tied up.
Util is really good from both of these teams on that post plant play. The flat on, making sure that it's clear towards that front of the site, but instantly Teddy pulls a smoke up towards Hell, so that you're making Teddy Tactics still guess where their opponents could be, where they're dropping inside the smoke, and they had to come down to just being clean on your shots on a retake. And better for Teddy Tactics with, again, the protocols to be able to instantly trade. And that was such a pivotal round for both of these teams, because they broke the bank for both teams, no matter who won the round. If it was Mesos Millionaires, they'd be at 12-10 with a broken bye for Teddy Tactics. Now Teddy Tactics has a chance to bring this into map and series point, because Mesos Millionaires have a broken economy.
Here goes to match point. Advantage for Teddy Tactics. Fury 2.
Biggest
Hal
kill.
Sushi in the middle of the map. Venus trying to hold it down. Gets overwhelmed. There's the Hunter's Fury. Catch Mesos in a narrow area. The Mesos seem to be mostly okay. 3v4 is not impossible. Taking care of the Cypher trip. The jig is up.
Cage trigger.
We're gonna smoke the back too.
Camera taken.
Oh, but there's a camera there, so
It's a double pump. Jig was up here with the camera spotting them, and now you're seeing them backpedal towards the A site, where it's actually given up by everybody except for Arya. But Arya has been so good on the anchor roll.
oh, way to go.
Yeah, Elise didn't die. Elise didn't die. I
almost
didn't
did it.
fully cast a curse, and she got info.
Got info, no damage. Thumbs up.
I'm okay. I'm sweating.
you put the fear in their eyes. Oh, that's an Odin.
That's also 5 HP left here for
That'll slow them down.
Yep.
One little nade.
And the last attempt to push back towards the B site, where now it's open towards B. But Oranges has to win this fight back towards the push towards spawn. Oh, no, wait.
Pistol! Okay. Animal's insane. 3v2, running out of time to plant. Numbers don't matter if you don't get the spike done. We'll have time to do that at B. Oranges takes care of Teddy. Lurking at the top site. Animal crumbs
Double
the
ult.
spare. May want to live for the lockdown. She'll try to play her life. Hunter's Fury from Slandy to push back the forces of Teddy Tactics. Position for the retake. The lockdown won't stop someone like Oranges with the aftershock. Finishes off Animal. Like I said, what crumbs? 1v2 for Slandy. Nothing on the lockdown.
Vandal picked up.
Hey, Slandy gets one done. Sonic to see if she's on the site. Oranges could have crept out to the right. Ooh, peekaboo. Deadly game. Knows they have to get on the spike. Oranges gets the last lap. Hey, one orb closer to...
Oh no,
Rolling
Mesos gets the
Thunder.
last laugh because that is still around no matter what for Mesos Millionaires, and it's map point, series point on that side, and that is off the back of Animal one more time. Somehow, magic out of a hat. A double kill back towards the CT ramp at the A site, and even activates into the B site for a lockdown to delay even more, and allowing for them to win off time. And that's gotta hurt here for Teddy Tactics, who were in. They had all the cards dealt for them to be able to at least get at series point. And now they have a broken buy trying to bring this into overtime.
A great use of the lockdown and Hunter's Fury. At least my cope was the Rolling Thunder. But, you know, every time we give credit to Teddy Tactics, bad things happen. This is a bad situation to be in. Match point for Meso's series point. Both sides, too. And Teddy Tactics not wanting to take any risk putting anyone forward. Not putting Venus in wine. So Mesos leave mid completely open. And now El Sushi knows it after the Owl Drone patrolled.
Yeah, even the Owl Drone, even if it pings the turret, it sees that the turret's angled to look back towards that side, and they know that the KJ's potentially just lurking on that side and watching that push. So keeping those players, 3 players over on that B side, is actually the good read so far for Teddy Tactics, because they know there's going to be the attacking side trying to find more information, trying to prod more towards potentially B, potentially mid.
And Habibti got the ult orb, so Null Command activated off of that. And the Cosmic Divide. Missiles are trying to seal the deal right here and now on the B site. And Kalsushi is looking at the outside. It all depends on this gunfight. And Mesos come out on top. Only 2 left, and it's Venus and Arya.
And the
And they're on
Alarbot's going to
different
spot
sides
Arya?
of the map.
Last player
Arya
standing.
has been the GOAT before, but not this time. Not against Animal. Just come alive in this match. And Venus, superstar duelists against the wave of trouble. And it's Mesos Millionaires that collect the check and move on in our bracket.
What a win there from Mesos Millionaires. What a comeback also to win on a lower buy in that 12 or 11-11 scoreline that should have been, once again, on the side of Teddy Tactics. But at least one positive thing you can take out of this here, Lemon Kiwi, is that Teddy Tactics, they have improved Game Changers after Game Changers. They finally won the first map in the main event for Game Changers. Almost made it through to even move forward in a round at the main event for Game Changers, but unfortunately, it was just this close, but no cigar.
No cigar for you. But refrag against Mesos Millionaires. That's going to be a fun matchup. We got YFPX and Umfis locked in for the other quarterfinal. We unfortunately had to say bye to Elation, Vortex, and Teddy Tactics. But a valiant effort to push all the way to map 3. But we got to hear from the desk, but don't go anywhere. We got to get them prepared, make sure there's no fire in Balla's house. And we'll see you on the other side of that.
Mrs. Millionaires, they get the win once again against Teddy Tactics, and they move forward in the lower bracket. It was very close until the end. A lot of crazy plays, especially in that second half that we saw, but it's Mesos who were able to solve it towards the end, Wyatt, and close it out.
Yeah, it got silly. It got scrappy. It got funny. And it was a fun watch. But unfortunately, it was a sad watch if you're a Teddy Tactics enjoyer, because they got so damn close to their first win in the main event. They did at least get a map, and they got, I mean, they were on the verge of winning. They pushed a team of Game Changers veterans to the brink. It was a respectable effort from them, no doubt, but at the end of the day, Mesos Millionaires were a little bit too consistent. So big credit to them for getting that win in the lower bracket and moving on.
This would typically be the time when I see that first half and I see, you know, a win on the attack side for Teddy that I say, they should have won that map. But actually, when you're watching the scrap that was happening in that second half, ASOS was hitting some shots. And when it came down to situations like this, for example, Aria's clutch, he was still delivering. The players of Teddy were still delivering in moments like those, but constantly you're seeing both sides have these kind of pop-out moments. And yeah, I mean, fantastic play from players like Habibti, from players on MESO who were delivering over and over. And I think as well, when you're setting yourselves up in those situations, it was clutch after clutch. It was close situation after close situation. And consistently, the Mesos players were in the good spots. We're in the time-saving spots where they're running down the clock to the last second, to where there's not a defuse here from Oranges, where one round to go, there was not a defuse coming in from Aria after they clutched out. This round as well, where they pinched them coming out of on the retake. Just a close game, and every single time Meso in the clutch was putting themselves in great spots.
Which is very different to what we saw in the map number 1 and what map number 2, where there was a clear difference and a clear favorite on who was going to start strong and who was going to close it out. But this one, it was a lot of back and forth, especially in the first half, as you were saying, all the rounds Teddy Tactics were getting, and all the situations that they put themselves into, that it seems like it could have been enough, but Bala, it just wasn't.
Yeah, and there was no serious absolute. I mean, you look at the score here from Animal, and yes, there was an insane carry, but it wasn't what we saw on map 1. Like you're looking at the differences between all the different maps, right? We were talking a lot about how those first kills were going in from Bunny, how the op was going like crazy. The op was neutered almost. I don't remember a single standout round from the op from Bunny B, for example. But it was the lurks from Animal. It was the positioning that I called upon. And yeah, just a fantastic game for Mesos down the line.
And like you were saying, Wyatt, we saw, I feel like, a lot of silly rounds that we were just like, what is going to happen? Who's going to win? Because you didn't know. I mean, Aria had 3 situations where it was just her trying to close it out. But this one, though, this one is something else.
Yeah, no, this round 23, brutal. Actually brutal. I mean, again, Anu on the lurk there brings it into the 2 versus 2 eco round, and it just comes down to the ultimates at the end, trying to cross to the side. Anu was like almost dead, and then gets forced out later by the aftershock here in a moment. Everything being used, the Cosmic Divide, the Lockdown, the Hunter's Fury, and then it's into this 2 versus 1. Slandy just has the Ghost, and then has to cross to pick up the Vandal. I mean, it was just the scrappiest of round ends in a game that was down to the wire. Little individual moments making all of the difference. This time waste was so good. Clock ticking. Just nothing that can be done. I mean, you hate to see it. I mean, unless you're a MESO Millionaire player or fan, then you don't hate to see it, but you do hate to see it. There was some tough rounds like that.
So many rounds, it was just a matter of seconds, a matter of if Aria was going to be able to defuse or not. And yeah, and a couple times it was enough, but I mean, not enough to close out the series. And that means the Teddy Tactics, they get eliminated from the main event this time around. They made a little bit of progress once again. They were able to get that one map. But one of the players that we want to highlight, though, on this side of Mesos Bala is Anima, one of the players that we talked about having experience, being that veteran on this team, and was able to step up, especially in the last map.
Oh, yeah, she showed up. I mean, absolutely showed up. Early on in the first half, she's the one kind of keeping them in the game. And deep in the game on that attack side, she's the one lurking. She's the one basically being the linchpin in so many rounds. Here, the little 1v2, finding the lurks top mid. Yeah, sometimes they overcooked, but for the most part, it was clinical from Animal. So huge round. Look at the difference. 197 ACS all the way up to 341 on Ascent. That is clinical.
On the Killjoy too, it's pretty good to see. And Wyatt, I think this leaves us with a better feeling for what MESOs can do. A team that, as we mentioned towards the beginning of the day, is a team that we've heard of in Game Changers, players that we know from Game Changers. But now, as they continue this lower bracket run, it does feel like they're one of the stronger teams that everybody else has to be watching out for.
Yeah, in the next match, they're going to be going up against Refrag, who we just saw earlier, another really strong team who, despite losing against FlyQuest today 2-0, I still walked away from that game being very impressed by them. So I think two teams that have, I suppose it's tough to say that they've got momentum because they did get they lost Refrag, but I think they still have to feel pretty solid about how they performed today. And then obviously MESO Millionaires, who do have some momentum coming into this next series with Animal playing so well, getting that win in the lower bracket. So I think it's two teams that are kind of low-key in really good form. So that should be a pretty banger game tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a lot of days that are back-to-back, especially if you're going to be playing that lower bracket. But now, let's jump to the Verizon post-match interview, because I want to hear what Teddy from MESO Millionaires has to say about this win. And Teddy, congratulations. The first thing that I want to ask you here is, you've played against Teddy Tactics a few times. The team has played against Teddy Tactics a few times, and every single time you've been able to get with the win. So how do you make sure that that keeps going, especially because this match in general was very, very close between you two?
Yeah, it definitely was a very stressful last map. I know going into the second map, we were pretty confident, but I don't think any of the games that we go into, we expect 100% to win, right? Because we're playing against a lot of really good teams, and we were talking about it, and Teddy Tactics is one of those teams that has gotten significantly better. Like, they've always been a pretty decent team, but I know they're players who put in work, so we never want to underestimate them. So I think that's always our mentality going into the games against them, is to take every single round seriously and to try to keep on pushing forward, because no round is guaranteed. But overall, I think we just need to continue trusting each other's calls. That's normally how we drag it round by round, and we always keep a very positive mental over here, because we're all just here to have fun.
Yeah, and it looked really good, especially to close it out when it was such a back and forth in that second half of Ascent. But I want to ask a little bit about what we saw on Haven, and I want to know the behind of your composition. We've seen teams in Game Changers that are constantly changing composition, so I want to know the reasoning behind what we saw today on that second map.
Honestly, we don't really practice. I'm sure that's a lot of the teams who have been playing these days, just because of the funding in GC has not been as great. So a lot of teams just don't have the time to commit to practicing. So we just lean back on comfort picks. We kind of decide. Sometimes we're loading into the match and we're deciding, what feels good that day. So we choose an agent to play that day, so that we can best support each other. So there's no hard set strategy going into it. It's mostly just whatever we feel like would be good to counter certain teams that we're playing against, depending on what type of playstyle we're trying to go. Either if it's more explosive, or if we're trying to run slower defaults, we'll switch up our agent picks.
I mean, honestly, props to you, because adapting on the fly the way that your team has been doing is insane. But my last question for you is, that match tomorrow is going to be against Refrag. So how do you feel about going against this team that has also been doing pretty good?
Yeah, I feel confident going to tomorrow. I think that today, us playing together, it felt really good. The team synergy was great. Again, we don't feel 100% confident against any team, but I think that you should go into any match expecting to win as well. So we feel confident about tomorrow's match. They're really good players, but I mean, my teammates were frying today. I was getting carried by my teammates today, and the thing about our team is everyone is open to making calls. So it's not like we have one set IGL. So I feel like tomorrow we'll just have the same thing going on, where everyone's making their own calls, contributing based on the day. So as long as we all get our sleep and drink our coffee, I think we should be fine. Hopefully we don't have any heart attack close rounds again, but I'm sure it'll happen tomorrow again.
There's always a few every game, but that's what makes it so fun. I mean, thank you so much, Teddy, for joining me for this post-match interview. Best of luck for tomorrow as well. And now it is time for us to bring back the analyst desk to close out the day and to talk a little bit of what and how that is going to play out, Bella. And I think that is really impressive. They don't practice, and they're just it's just all about the vibes. I'm feeling an ISO, I'm feeling a Yoru, I'm feeling a, okay, sure.
Yeah, that's how I live my life, too. just on the vibes. No, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't ask about that fit. Gaming in that fit is crazy. That is awesome.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, no, good day. I'm looking forward to actually hearing more from Teddy. Great interview, great head on her shoulders, and really, really interested to see how Mesos continues in this.
And let's look at the bracket, Wyatt, because as we were watching these teams, especially the second match in the lower bracket, there were things going on in the upper bracket that people were keeping their eyes on. Shopify was playing today. We didn't get to see it on the main broadcast, but don't worry. They're going to be a feature of the main broadcast soon enough. The first map was won by YFP, and then Shopify were very angry. They said this is not going to happen, and then they won 13-2, 13-2, the second and third map. And we continue to see also some teams already getting eliminated. Teddy Tactics, that as we just saw, we have to say goodbye to, and Vortex as well, that we have to say goodbye to.
Yeah, that YFP Shopify game, just looking at the way that the rounds went, that the score went, pretty crazy. Yeah, they Windhaven, YFP, but it's off the back of a second half 10-2 comeback. That's crazy. And then Shopify, as you said, just destroy them after that. And they'll be going up against Oomfies tomorrow, who got a competent win as well, 2-1 against Vortex. So that should be an interesting game. And then I think that second game, again, really, the Refrag versus Meso, that should be a banger. Both teams looked really good today in my eyes. A lot of individual players really stepping up. So I think that should be really close. Definitely a game to watch.
Yeah, and just one thing to note as well, one of Y and Shopify, actually Shopify's clinched entirely going to Berlin. So with that win, with the double comeback that they had in that series. So yeah, it's interesting. The entirety of the international landscape is shaping up at this point.
That means that it's going to be another international land for Mel and Alexis that have been making them since the beginning of the Game Changing Championship. The first one that we had in Berlin, then Brazil, and now going back, they're continuing to be the reigning champions as well, so something to look for. But for tomorrow, though, we're going to have the lower bracket teams fighting to stay on this game and also to have a chance to go to Berlin. And it's a lot of the teams that we saw today. I feel like YFP, you need to go for a reset after what happened today against Shopify, but they are the favorites to win against Oomfies. But as we've seen in Game Changers, why anything can happen, so I'm excited for these matches. I feel like a lot of them, I mean, every single one of these two can be really close.
Yeah, definitely agree. I swear every time, every single Game Changer series, you'll get to these games where you think that the favorite should be winning in pretty dominant fashion, and it just never ends up actually going that way. Some of these teams, every single time, with the players that, it's like you look at their history and what teams they've been on, it's like, all right, they've been competing in Game Changers for a decent amount of time, maybe a year, not really familiar with the teams, and now it's this new team that's an amalgamation of kind of all the players that fit that archetype, and then suddenly they're competing with all of the players that we've seen for years on the top teams, the signed teams, etc. Like, it's happening every single series, which makes it always fun, exciting to watch every single time.
Yeah, it's really fun to see as this Game Changers continue to shape up. If we continue to find out who's going to make it to the top 3, top 2, is it going to be the same as always, or are things going to change up a little bit? I feel like at least a few things are going to change for sure, and that means that you guys at home need to keep watching, need to stay in tune, because it's going to be tomorrow lower bracket, then we're going to watch the flight with Shopify the day after, and it's back to back until we find out who's going to make it to Berlin. So once again, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.